I am George Thompson, the brother of the late Robert Thompson. Thank you sincerely for taking time out of your busy day to attend his funeral. I struggled to hold back my grief and delivered the eulogy. By the time I rushed to the hospital, my bro had already passed away. It was a tragic accident at a clear intersection due to a red light violation. Apparently, the driver was texting on his smartphone and didn't notice the red light. I received an apology from the culprit, but there was no way I could forgive. Despite my usually stoic demeanor, I found myself unable to suppress my bubbling anger and exploded in rage. Robert left behind a memento, his beloved daughter, Emily, who just turned 2. We brothers lost our parents in an accident at a young age and were raised by our grandparents. Robert, who had longed for a family, married young but was unable to have children for a long time. After undergoing fertility treatment, his wife Mary finally got pregnant in their 10th year of marriage. I was overjoyed when I heard the news and congratulated them. But during childbirth, Mary's amniotic fluid entered her bloodstream. She developed amniotic fluid embolism. She was transported from the birthing center to the general hospital, but it was too late, and she passed away. Knowing this, I was engulfed in deep regret, thinking that if she had given birth at our hospital, we might have been able to respond promptly. Robert strived to raise her as a single father.
Emily is our precious daughter, whom Mary protected with her life. I'll raise her with all the love I have on her behalf.
Hearing his words, I felt a warm sensation in my eyes, seeing my once spoiled and crybaby younger brother's growth. After the funeral, at the repast, the conversation focused on who would take Emily. Our grandparents had already passed away, and even if they were alive, they were too old to be entrusted with her. We hoped that Mary's parents would take their granddaughter, but
it's impossible for us to raise such a small child physically, mentally, and financially.
Not only he refused to take Emily, but also pointed at me and said, "You, who are single, raise her." I had vaguely heard from Mary that she was estranged from her parents. Seeing his attitude, I immediately understood why. Despite being busy with work and I wasn't able to meet her often, Emily is my precious niece to me. I thought it would be better for Emily to be taken in by me than by her grandparents who lack even a fragment of love. However, my anxiety was greater. It is because not only that I was single and had no experience raising children, but also because I work as a pharmacist at a community hospital. I have night shifts and work on weekends, which is not a conducive environment for child rearing. Moreover, I am part of a palliative care team for cancer treatment, so there are conferences and study groups, and sometimes I have to study after coming home. I don't have confidence in raising Emily alone, without anyone to support me. I can't possibly raise Emily. Just as I was about to say that, Emily, who was sitting on my lap, clung tightly to me. Where does such a small child get such strength? It was a surprising force. While clinging, she presses her small head tightly against my chest. Seeing Emily's behavior as if saying, "Don't abandon me," tightened my chest. I made up my mind and looked up. I'll raise Emily. Until the police called, I had not even anticipated this situation. That day, I finished the handover at the morning meeting and headed to the dispensary. The number and contents of the drugs prepared by the dispenser must be checked for correctness. Sometimes, I review patients' medical records to verify whether their prescribed medications are appropriate based on their lab results. Many people think that a pharmacist's job is just to prepare and dispense medications prescribed by doctors, but that's not all. I provide instructions and precautions on how to self-inject to patients who need to do so, and I also check the current health status, allergies, and supplements of inpatients. In addition, I explain the dosing schedule and side effects to patients who are receiving chemotherapy. I had a conference that day. Hospital pharmacists often receive consultation from doctors and nurses about patients' medications. The community hospital I work at is recognized by the county as a cancer treatment hospital, and I am a part of a palliative care team to support cancer treatment and alleviate pain. Pharmacists play a crucial role in chemotherapy, which is indispensable for cancer treatment. The goal is to provide the best palliative care for patients by doctors, nurses, and pharmacists working as a team. After the conference ended, I headed to the cafeteria for a late lunch.
Hi.
As I was about to eat, Dr. Patricia sat next to me. She is a female doctor working at our hospital and is also a member of the palliative care team. She is beautiful, intelligent, and forthright. I admire and respect her because she empathizes with the patients more than anyone else. Good morning. The discussion about the latest cancer treatment in Europe was very interesting, whether we can introduce it in our hospital or not. Dr. Patricia gives a wry smile.
It's hard to implement ideal practices due to financial constraints.
Dr. Patricia probably has a lot to think about the country healthcare system because she had training at a hospital in Europe. She found out she was pregnant during the training, came back to give birth, and became a single mother. It might not have been what she wanted, but it's reassuring to have an excellent doctor like her at our hospital. Buzz, buzz. My smartphone vibrates on the table. Cell phones were banned in the hospital due to their potential effects on medical devices. However, with improvements in cell phone technology and enhancements in medical device functions, they can be used as long as the location and manners are respected. Of course, I don't use it during work hours, but I keep it at hand during lunch breaks. Excuse me. Suspicious of the unknown number displayed, and nervously answered the call.
Is this Mr. George Thompson's cell phone?
I tensed up at the unfamiliar male voice. Yes, it is.
I'm from the police. Your family member, Mr. Robert Thompson, has been in an accident. Can you come to the hospital I'm about to mention?
Dr. Patricia told me that she would notify the pharmacy department, and I explained the situation to the head of the pharmacy department I met on the way to the lobby, then jumped into a taxi. Still in shock and not sure whether it's real, I kept telling myself that Robert must be fine, it must be minor injuries. Time has passed since the funeral, and I'm starting to accept the reality that he is gone. That's largely due to the presence of Emily. Emily, wait. I'm making dinner now. I bounce Emily on my back, who is crying and wailing, and stand in the kitchen. When she finally stops crying, Emily stiffens up and I get nervous. Right after that, oh no, it stinks. I need to change her diaper. I'm constantly busy with taking care of Emily, with no time to grieve. Until now, I led a carefree bachelor life, not caring if my room was dirty, laundry piled up, or if I ate convenience store meals every day. But Emily can barely walk, and the moment I take my eyes off her, she tries to touch the power outlet, puts anything into her mouth. I need her diaper changed, and I can't just feed a 2-year-old convenience store meals. She must be feeling stressed since her dad's passing, as she wakes up many times in the middle of the night, and she cries hard if I even slightly move away from her. Even when I'm in the bathroom, she bangs on the door crying, so lately, I've been using the bathroom with the door open. I don't know much about the language development of 2-year-olds, but Emily can only speak a few words, and it's hard to communicate with her. When she throws a tantrum on the floor, turning red and wailing, I don't know what to do and I feel like crying myself. I was able to take 10 days off as bereavement leave after explaining the situation, but with things as they are, I'm increasingly worried if I can really raise her. The biggest problem was finding a daycare. I tried every daycare in the neighborhood, but they are all full. Furthermore, there's no daycare that can accommodate night shifts. The 24-hour daycare center at the facility was also full, with no vacancies. I tried to find a babysitter instead, but the cost would surge if I asked them to work nights, which I simply couldn't afford. Nights were covered by a rotating shift, and there were pharmacists with children. I can't be treated as special just because I'm one of them. What should I do? I have to return to work soon. Then, the intercom rang. Thinking it was a courier, I opened the door to find a surprising person standing there. It was Dr. Patricia. A little girl was standing next to her. I'd never met her before, but I had once seen a picture of her daughter on her phone.
I'm sorry for intruding all of a sudden. I couldn't attend your brother's funeral, so I thought I would at least come to offer my respects.
She is such a conscientious person. As soon as I let the two of them into the house, her daughter let out a shout of delight.
Wow, how cute! Sophia loves babies.
Emily stared at Sophia with wide eyes and an intrigued look.
Sophia, wash your hands first, then you can play with the baby. Can you be gentle?
I can do it.
According to Dr. Patricia, Sophia is 3 years old, and I was amazed at how much she had grown in just 1 year. No, maybe Sophia's growth has been rapid. Or is Emily behind? Sophia touched Emily as if she was handling fragile goods, and she showed her various toys and explained them. Emily was so absorbed in Sophia that I was able to have a quiet chat with Dr. Patricia after she offered incense to my bro.
You look very tired. Have you had enough sleep?
I haven't been able to sleep properly, and since I took medicine, I haven't had a second of time for myself. All mothers are like that. What are you whining about? Maybe that's true, but for me, who suddenly became a father, it was a lot of stress.
You know, I got into a top university, earned a medical license, worked at a university hospital, trained in a hospital in Europe, had a smooth life, and never experienced any setbacks. I've never felt like things weren't going my way until Sophia was born. Child rearing is really hard.
When I heard those words from Dr. Patricia, who I thought was perfect and talented, the tension that had been tight until now snapped. I let out all the stress that had been building up inside me to her. And that's how it is. While I have to go back to work soon, I can't find a place to leave Emily, so I'm really at a loss. It was the first time I had shown Dr. Patricia such a pathetic side of me. Then, she gently overlaid her hand on mine. My heart beat loudly at the unexpected contact.
If it's okay with you, would you like to try using the daycare center I use? I'll introduce you.
The daycare center had been newly established 3 years ago. I, who was single and had no children, was not interested, so I did not know about it. Maybe I had heard about it somewhere, but I think I just brushed it off because it wasn't relevant. In fact, the reason she decided to work at our hospital was because it had a daycare center and she felt that it was well equipped. Please, I'd be grateful. I thanked her. At the same time as I returned to work, I started to leave Emily in the daycare center. There were also pharmacists among my colleagues who had children, and not only did they give me a lot of warm words knowing that I had taken in my niece, but they also gave me advice on child rearing and informed me about assistance from the government. Until now, I had only interacted with them as work colleagues, but hearing about their children and home life made me feel closer to them, and I felt that the distance between us had narrowed. There are many things that make me glad I put Emily in the daycare center. It provides 24-hour care, so I don't have to worry about working nights. I feel secure knowing that experienced and skilled caregivers, not the hospital, are taking care of her because the management is outsourced to a professional company. It's located in the hospital, so I can rush over if something happens to Emily. Also, I'm happy that I can go see her during my lunch break or breaks. Even if work unexpectedly gets extended, they can quickly accommodate me if I contact them. Not only that, but the daycare center has a designated restroom with a nurse on duty, which is really appreciated as it accepts children who are not feeling well due to colds and the like. There's no need to prepare a packed lunch as nutritious meals and snacks are provided. What particularly surprised me was Emily's growth. Since starting at the daycare, her vocabulary has increased tremendously, and she's been able to communicate more smoothly than before. This is all thanks to Sophia, who always talks to Emily at the daycare. Sophia, who is often referred to as Emily's sister by the daycare staff, takes care of Emily like a big sister, and Emily has grown to love Sophia, often showing her smile. Sophia has apparently graduated from diapers and is now wearing big girl underwear, which has inspired Emily to work hard on potty training. Because of all this, I often talk to Dr. Patricia about not only work, but also our children.
I'll take care of Emily tomorrow since I'm off.
No, I wouldn't want to trouble you on your day off. However, I was convinced to accept her offer as she explained it's actually easier for her to take care of both Sophia and Emily, and I felt a bit guilty about it. The next evening, Dr. Patricia came to visit me with Emily.
How was it?
It's been a while. It's fantastic. I ate a microwave dinner while watching online videos, and then I studied for the upcoming conference. Even just a few hours of me time were precious and made me feel happy. I'll take care of Sophia next time I'm off.
Thank you.
After Dr. Patricia showed me a warm smile, she gazed at me.
Actually, Sophia has been saying she wants to go to the zoo with Emily, so I was thinking, could we match our days off and go together?
I eagerly responded, "Let's go." Sophia lifted Emily's hand and shouted, "Yay!" which got Emily all excited and playful. They really look like sisters, I commented, and Dr. Patricia looked into my eyes and responded,
I wish they could be real sisters.
"What does that mean?" I can't wait for my next day off.